Hello, everybody, and welcome back. This is Dr. Carmen Bryant. This is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. Thank you guys so much for all of those that have joined me for the first time. Welcome to the tribe. I really appreciate your support. Thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for all the emails. Thank you for all the messages. Thank you for even sharing your stories, for being that bold to share your stories and your pain and your hurt. Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. I really appreciate, and thank you for showing me that this is really helping you guys, that this is making a difference in your life. I am so truly honored that this can help you. Thank you so much. And those of you that have purchased my book, Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection, thank you so much for the feedback. For some reason, is limited as the comments or the ratings and the feedback you can give on Amazon. But if you go to Barnes and Noble, you can put reviews on there too. So please go review. Go talk about the book. Say something about it. See if it'll help somebody else. But thank you guys. So today I wanted to come on really quick because I have a lot to do. I would turn the camera and let you see all this paperwork, but that is not cool. So today I want to talk about the question, what if I'm still in the relationship? Now what do I do? Okay, so let's look at different scenarios. First of all, you have, as I always say in all my videos, when you are in a relationship with a narcissist and you're married to the narcissist and or married with children, each state carries their own law. I am not a legal professional. I cannot provide you with legal advice, nor will I try to give you legal advice. I'm not trained in that area. I can give you a lot of information concerning mental health or emotional health, behavioral health, but I cannot give you legal advice. The one thing that I say to everyone who is married and has children, because you may not be married, maybe living with the individual or have children with the individual, there may be court orders, it's not easy for you just to jump up and go. And that's why I constantly say, go and find out what your rights are through a legal advocate. They have, I don't know in each state, how productive the YWCA is there, but I know here in the state of Washington, the YWCA the YWCA is an agency for the females, but you can also men can contact so they can give you information on where you can go. The YWCA here also provides shelter and assists with job skills, technical skills, help you get back into school, get a technical degree, get a certificate, get something to get yourself back on your feet. So for those of you that are in marriages and are married and have children, you need to go find out what your legal rights are in your state, because for most of you guys, you can't just jump up and leave because of the fact that each parent has rights when it's concerning the relationship, when it's concerning the children. Unfortunately, when you got married, there are rights that both man and female, male, whoever, depending on what state you're in, each one of you have marital rights, and you also have parental rights. And so for most of you guys can't jump up and just leave because in certain states, I'm not sure about Washington, in certain states they can get you for abandonment, they can get you for kidnapping. And so you want to know what your legal rights are. You have been traumatized and tormented enough, where you don't need this type of legal action to follow you when you're trying to escape the nightmare or the bondage that you've been in. You've been imprisoned. And so I tell you over and over again, go talk to a legal advocate, go talk to a domestic violence advocate. Some of them don't understand narcissist abuse, but they do understand psychological and emotional abuse. You have to use that terminology, because if you say, nowadays, narcissist abuse, that's almost like, this new word going around, and so people are just throwing it out there, and some of them are using it, and they're using it, what's the word I want to say? They're using it just as a catchphrase. They're just they don't know what they're saying. When you're talking about people that have been through narcissist abuse, talk to a person that's been through narcissist abuse. They'll give you details of what it's like to go through narcissist abuse, as opposed to, you're narcissistic, and the person may just be arrogant, self-centered, abusive. There's a difference. And so when you're talking to the advocates, the term narcissist may not be something familiar to them, or cluster B personality disorders may not be something familiar to them. So what you can use, the terminology you may want to use is, do you understand psychological abuse? Because that's a part of domestic violence. They just don't know the in-depth torment and horror that a narcissist does to individuals. But trust me, advocates understand domestic violence. Domestic violence, they just don't know that may be, narcissist has a term to it, and there's certain things that they do. So what you say is, do you, I know that you are a domestic violence advocate. Do you understand, the severity of psychological abuse, not just physical abuse, psychological abuse, and use those type of terminologies. Eventually, as you get comfortable with them, ask them, do you understand cluster B personality disorders? Do you even understand psychopath, sociopath, narcissistic, behavior? And if they really don't, stick to psychological abuse. Psychological abuse and torment, and use that terminology, and find yourself, support. When you connect with, you look online to, look online and find, for example, sexual assault counselors or sexual assault support agencies, domestic violence agencies, where they will assist. There have been some that have been moved out of state for safety reasons, to escape their predators and their tormentors. They've assisted them with moving and changing their identity or moving out of the state away from the abuser. And so there are agencies that are there to help you and to tell you what your legal rights are. There are different rights and laws that cover people that are going through domestic violence. Psychological abuse, you have to maintain your cool. You have to connect with them to find out what your legal rights are. These are the people that can help you move out of your situation. Okay, so that's first and foremost, and that's for people that are married. That's for people that are married with children. Those are people that are, you may not be married, but you may have children with that individual, or you may have court orders in with that individual. And like I said, talk to a legal representative. Talk to, here in the state of Washington. If you're in the state of Washington, they have the Northwest Justice Project, which is also available for those with low income or no income, and they will assist you with doing, they give you advice on how to do your paperwork. They'll tell you how to do the paperwork, and you are doing the paperwork. You're going under the advice of, what do they call, paralegal and a lawyer, and they assist you with the paperwork that you need. And so, and that is for married couples, that is for married couples with children, or that is for people that have children. Now, if they're not paying child support and they have no legal connection with you, still find advice, still get advice, because they still have rights to the kids, even if they're not paying child support, even if they're not doing visitations. It's a power and control thing to keep you from going anywhere. So find out what your legal rights are so they can put court orders in for your protection. Now, if you are living together and you don't have any children together or anything like that, I don't know what the state laws are. Here in the state of Washington, I know it's a community property state. So depending on how long you've been with a person, they can use that against you as well. So be careful. They can use that against you as well. And let's see, if you're just dating and you have no property together, you don't live together, no assets together, get out. Get out. Don't turn back. Cut off all communication, go no contact, and you have to make a decision. This is one of those moments in your life, even in the relationship, where you have to make a decision. You have to be responsible for the decision that you make. First of all, when you got into the relationship, and go back and watch, a lot of people say, just get out, just leave. It's not that easy. It's not that easy when you're with a narcissist, so that's probably the average relationship. Go and don't turn back. Okay, for a narcissistic relationship, there's a whole lot of different equations that you have to take into. That's why I make all these videos, so you'll understand the different equations or the different moving parts that play in narcissist abuse. First of all, especially for those that have been in a relationship for long term with a narcissist, or even short term, you see how quick it happens. You have been addicted to that narcissist. Number one, we are responsible for the decision that we make. Negative and positive decisions, or good and bad decisions, still have consequences. Unfortunately, decisions have consequences. Most of us were tricked into the relationship because if they were honest about what they were, who they were, what they wanted, and how they wanted to play you, they don't even know who they are. And so most of you guys were manipulated and tricked into the relationship. And so you made a decision based off of your heart, based off of feelings. There were some red flags, and because you probably never learned about red flags, you were tricked and bamboozled into the relationship. not only later on to realize like this person never changed, or you stare at them like something is wrong with you. Like, I can't put my finger on it, but something is not right. Something's like really wrong. And the more you say it, they're like, no, it's not me that something's wrong. It's you. You're the one that's crazy. You need counseling. You know, you had that head injury, or you know, you had that ingrown toenail. And so now you can't even think straight. And most of you, and it may sound humorous, but some of the things that they say, once you back up and look and listen to what they've said, it's almost like, that is so dumb. You know, that is, excuse me, guys, I had lipstick all over the place. I can see it on the camera. But for most of you guys, you know, even though I may use humorous analogies, if you really go back and think about some of the things that were said, it's almost like, I can't believe I believed or I fell for that, or that was so, you know, this is crazy. You know, how in the world, I'm an educated man or woman, I'm a businesswoman, I make this amount of money, I'm a businessman, I own businesses, I own this, you know, I was in the military, I was a spy, I was an FBI agent, I was CIA, whatever you were, you know, but no one prepared you for this type of espionage to your mind. No one prepared you for this type of manipulation in your heart. And remember, go back and watch Trauma Bonding 1 and 2. I did 2 videos on it, Trauma Bonding, to give you an understanding how you were trauma bonded and became addicted to this narcissist. The other video to go watch is Soul Ties. And, you know, for those of you, you know, not everyone, and I understand and I respect that, you know, especially as a professional therapist, I respect, you know, each person has their own belief system. Me, myself, I am a Christian, I'm a believer. That does not mean that I impose my thoughts or my feelings or my belief system on anybody, because insurance companies do not hire me to preach to people. You know, that's not what they hire me for. They hire me because of my skills, my license, my education, in order to help people. It depends on what your belief system is how we roll in counseling. I am a believer, and so I will say this, and I said it on the Soul Ties video. You know, I believe, you know, and that's for some of you guys that are in the Christian community, I believe, you know, you do have a soul, and your soul is your psyche. Soul is your will, your thoughts, your emotion. That's your humanity. That's what connects you to humanity. That's the human part of you. Spirit, when you're talking about spirit, which is separate than from the soul, spirit in the Christian community is perfect, because once you've connected with, once you've accepted Jesus Christ as your personal Savior, your spirit becomes alive. It's alive and it's perfect. That is the Spirit of God. And then for, you know, and we have our own belief system, you know, and then body. The body is what connects you to the earth. The body connects you with experiences, touch, and, you know, all that. You are in a package called a human body. Now, for each individual one of you, you know, we have brothers and sisters here that are Muslim, Buddhist, Hindu. You know, each one of you have your own belief system. You have to take the information and you apply it to the way that you understand, the way that you believe. That's just my belief system. So when I talked about the soul ties, you know, even in counseling, I talk about the emotional connection with people and how you were manipulated, and they never connected emotionally to anybody. The oxytocin in their mind is broken. The dopamines, the serotonin, the empathy, the compassion part is broken. It's shut off. Ours is shut on. And, you know, when you have come from families that have been toxic or abusive relationships in the past, and remember, I just did the video on how you were groomed, you know, and your tolerance level is very high. Your pain tolerance is very high. You know, there are holes in your heart. There's like holes and plugs missing out of your soul because you never went back to fix that. When I say fix that, by finding help to recovering from, to filling those gaps and those holes. And what happens is a lot of times people go and they look, you know, as soon as you come out of a relationship with a narcissist, the first thing you do to fill those gaping holes where that, you know, where you disconnected it with that soul, with that emotional connection, because they purposely enmeshed you and bonded you into their soul, and they don't have a connection with you the way that you have a connection. And that's how you have become addicted to this narcissist. And so you have been enmeshed and connected with this narcissist to a point where they know what they're doing, because they rip themselves. When you rip flesh from flesh, or you rip those emotions, you have gaping wounds and gaping holes. So some of you are bleeding all over the place. You can tell by some of the comments, you know, that you're bleeding all over the place. Your heart is broken. You can't believe that a human being can be this evil. this diabolical, that they can abuse their children. You giving birth, or they have given birth to a child, or it is your seed that woman carried, or it is that woman birthed that child, that they don't have a connection. They looked at them as a source of supply to get attention, source of supply to get fueled. They don't have a bond or a connection with this child or this human being or this person. And you can't believe that a person can be that cruel. That's because of the fact, I'm sorry you guys, that's because of the fact that it's the pollen all in the air. I'm sorry, but it's the fact that that you're connected with this individual, and you saw that facade, you saw that illusion of a person that does not exist, and you want that illusion to come back. You want that feeling to come back, and you have all these gaping wounds. Once that narcissist ghosted you, gave you the silent treatment, discarded you, ghosted you, and now you have these gaping holes and wounds. And so instead of you going to find peace within to try, they can't look within themselves to fix anything. You have to be able to look within to determine, okay, what caused me to be desperate for relationships? What caused me to want to, connect with this individual, or what makes me want to go back into another relationship? Because you're trying to find a pseudo resource or a pseudo plug to plug into those gaping holes, but you're going to make it even worse. That's what's going to happen. So now I wanted to give you that, to give you an understanding, when you're in these relationships, what's going on behind the scenes and making it hard for you to leave. Now, we have other people that have told me that, well, I'm at a point where I'm on Social Security. I am disabled, and I'm not a medical professional, but usually in my mind I ponder, we talked about how, you can tear up by high levels of stress. It will tear up your health, your immune system. Some people have strokes, heart attacks, and is stress induced. Go research stress and what stress can do to the body. And the narcissist purposely maintains a stressful environment. They maintain high levels of stress in you because they inflict the highest level of pain that you can handle. Some of you are having health issues. Some of you may have had health issues before you got in a relationship with a narcissist, and now it seems like your health has gone all the way to the worst side. Like everything is agitated. Fibromyalgia is acting even worse. Certain things that your immune system was able to regulate itself, now it seems like you're all over the place. Your mind is all over the place. Emotions all over the place. And so for those of you that are on disability now, that had to retire early because of health issues, I don't doubt that they played a big role in making you sicker. I don't doubt that they played a major role in your declining health. And so some people are in these relationships, but they knew what they were doing. You don't have to work, baby. I'm gonna take care of you. Red flag. For most of us, like, oh, he said I don't have to work. I can, my mom always said, make sure, my mother and grandmother always said, have a little money on the side to make sure that in an emergency that you can take care of yourself, And I'm not saying to be secretive in a relationship, a good relationship, we don't know what that is right now, right? But in a good relationship, let's say a healthy relationship, in a healthy relationship, there should be no secrets. You guys should, there should be emergency money for both of you. You have emergency money, I have emergency money. There should be no secrets. Should be an open relationship where, we communicate. We're in a narcissistic relationship. Is not like that. Once you've determined you are in a toxic relationship, you need to start making plans. Some people stayed in the relationship for 20, 30 years, but in those 20, 30 years, they begin to educate themselves. They begin to get a college education. They begin to look and start creating their own businesses. They begin to see what are they qualified in doing. They stop being a housewife or a house husband, and they started seeking employment. They started doing things to elevate themselves. There are certain things that you can do. You may have skills. You may not have to go back to work. You might be able to come up with, beautiful jewelry, hair products. You sell this, you buy this, and you sell this. There are many ways to make money, and put money aside once you've discovered it. Those of you that are on disability, they make sure that there is no possibility. If you are a long primary source of supply, they're going to make sure that you have no way of escape. They make sure, because in their mind, you can't do anything without me. You are totally dependent on me. I am your God, and you depend totally on me emotionally, financially, and physically, and everything. You depend on me, and you'll never make it without me. This is how they think. This is what's going on in their brain, and so And they put you in that position where they know, being on disability or having a disability check or having to do early retirement, you cannot function without them. And this is the hardest thing to have to say. Now, for many of you, this is a hard thing for me to have to say to you, but sometimes you have to hit the reset button. Sometimes, when you have gotten to a point where you can't take no more, and it's your health and your well-being, sometimes you have to do like wait and exhale. You got to go and don't blow up any cars, okay? Don't set any cars on fire. Don't do anything illegal. Dr. Bryant did not tell you do anything illegal, burn down no houses and blow up no cars, okay? So let's go ahead and put the disclaimer out there, okay? But sometimes you have to go because you have skills. You do have skills, and sometimes, you may have lived a semi-comfortable life, meaning that you didn't have to go out and work, but this is one of those situations in which if you have to plan an escape, you may have to do things that are uncomfortable. And when I say uncomfortable, having to hit a reset button, having to start all over again, having to give up the house or the home that you've loved and been, in for so many years, having to give up a car, that you loved, having to walk away from a career or profession in order to restart and start all over again. But this time when you restart and do it all over again, at least it wasn't because of him or her. And those of you that are on disability, they do have adult protective services, and each state is called something different. They do have adult protective services. They do have domestic violence programs out there to help vulnerable adults, even vulnerable kids, where they can assist you, and you may have to start all over again, even if it is assisted living. I know here in the state of Washington, assisting some people that were on Social Security, they did have assisted living facilities, and they were nice. They were really, really nice. Assisted living facilities doesn't mean you're in a nursing home. There are some where they actually have apartments. They have like apartments, and then they have someone in there to make sure they check on people that need assistance, with their daily living and daily assistance. Here in the state of Washington, they also have, under the Department of Social and Health Services, they have the caretaker program. So if you have family members that are able to assist you here in the state of Washington, they can get certified and they actually get paid and taking care of you. If you are a veteran and you are a disabled veteran, and you find yourself, you can go back to the veteran service offices to ask them to increase your claim. Go back and have them redo your claim. And even there, they have a program for the veterans within the VA, the Veterans Administration, where they also pay people to provide you, caretakers. They provide with caretaker. They pay them to take care of, come and cook for you, come and clean for you, come and do little things for you, take you out to get you groceries. Same with people that are on Social Security. They have assisted living facilities, nursing homes, and I know not everybody, nursing homes sound so bad, but assisted living facilities also are like apartments for people that have disabilities, that you have to reach out and start. You have to take that leap of faith. You have to set in your mind, do I want to stay in this torment and this hell, or do I want freedom? Sometimes freedom and getting away from your tormentor means having to give up everything that you once loved, your house, your car, your beautiful furniture, the comfort of your home, to start all over again. It is a decision that you have to make, and it's a very hard decision. That's why I say get into counseling before you make these major decisions. Watch these videos, or the videos from other coaches that you enjoy watching. Watch these videos. Get your momentum up. Get your courage up. Get your strength back up. Go be great. Find something to do. Make a plan. Create goals. How do I get to here? How can I get some money coming in? What, do I have relatives to assist? If I don't have relatives to assist, how can I do this? Some of you guys are alone. Some of you guys have been discarded. Some of you guys are literally starting all over again. I started all over again. Now, the difference between me and a lot of other people is I came out of the military, but I was stripped of everything that I had. Had to give up one home, lost one home. I had to give, and I tell people the story all the time. I had to give one of my beautiful cars. I had a very beautiful car. I had a beautiful Mercedes. Had to give up my Mercedes. Gave my Mercedes up. And I had to start from scratch. I had to start all over again in a small 2-bedroom apartment. And from there, we talk about, you're a jack of all trades and a master of none. I am a jack of all trades, but I mastered a skill. I mastered my skill of counseling. I started my business, and from there, everything else, all the other trades, the other things that I do begin to grow from there. I started a book. Many of you can write books. You know, you don't have to go through the expensive authors. You can do some self-publishing. Amazon has a publishing company, but you have to make sure that when you're writing the book, you're not writing it from a place of pain. You're writing it from a place of healing so you can help other people. You don't want to trigger people and hurt them even more. You got to be able to tell the story, you know, and you got to make sure that you don't get sued while you're telling the story, you know. And so Amazon does have self-publishing. There are people that you can contact. Even here on our tribe, we have editors on here that will charge you a nominal fee to edit your book, to help it sound professional, and you do self-publishing. You can make money that way. I also do jewelry. Now this jewelry is not, this is from Miss Sherry. She sent me and I can't think of the name of but she sent me this jewelry and she asked me to advertise her jewelry. So you send me jewelry, I will advertise your jewelry. You know, I walk around with this jewelry on. And I love jewelry, but I make jewelry. I am not a jeweler, meaning like, you know, precious stones. I am a jeweler. I make jewelry. I make facial products. I make hair products. You know, I used to be a cosmetologist, and so you know, I don't do makeup for people anymore. I used to be a hairdresser, and so I do hair. If I need to make money, I do hair. You know, I don't do it that often anymore, but you know, I make money doing hair. And so yes, I was a jack of all trades. I was a radio program announcer. I used that skill to be able to do videos like this. I used to be an amateur model, and so I know how to present myself when I come on. You know, when I know how to do my makeup. I know how to present myself when I go in public and speak in public. You know, I used to be a public speaker in the military. When you go into the senior range, you become a leader of leaders, you know, a trainer of trainers. You were a trainer and then you become a trainer of trainers. So public speaking was not something that was complicated for me. I did it at all time, briefings and classes and training. And so it makes it easy for me to do training for you. And so see, you have skills. I took those skills when I got to a moment of time where I had to hit the reset button. I had to take what I had and go into this small little apartment and look at these boxes and and I have adult children and grandkids, you know, and I had one that's at home with me. And so I had to start all over again. And I'm looking around at these boxes. I'm like, there's no way that I came out of the military and worked so hard and had to leave and was almost put into a wheelchair and had to start all over again. I was almost 300 pounds. Stressed. I was almost 300 pounds, and I'm real short. But I was almost 300 pounds. They wanted to do back surgery on me, and I couldn't afford to do back surgery. I'm a single parent. I couldn't afford to leave my practice at that time. I didn't have a practice at the time. I couldn't afford to leave my job. You know, I couldn't afford to be in a wheelchair, you know, and so I had to make decisions. I had to make a determination. I had to decide to heal. I had to decide to get up, because I'm a soldier. I thought I told you. You guys know that song. But I am a soldier for real. I had a natural experience as being a United States Army soldier. I went to the peak of my career. I mean, I didn't get to the peak of the military, but I served in the position of a first sergeant. I was a leader of leaders. And so I knew what I was telling them. So I knew, because when you become a first sergeant, you become the top. Well, they call them top, but you become the top dog within the company. So everyone looks at you because you're the one that's experienced. You're the one that's able to lead people into war. You're the one that's the epitome of being a soldier. You are the senior leader in the enlisted side, and you are the assistant to a commanding officer. And so I took those skills, and I'm just telling you this because you need to take your skills. I took my skills and I decided to get back on my feet, put my boots back on, and make a living, and then help other people. Because if I can do it, you can do it. And I'm only one person. There's some of you guys that have started all over again. Thank God I educated myself when I was in the military. I used the GI Bill and I educated myself. When I got out the military, well, I didn't use the GI Bill. I used the tuition assistant that was in the military. I educated myself in the direction that I wanted to go. In my mind, I knew I wanted to get out of the situation. I didn't know how to do it, but I made sure I educated myself so that I said in my mind, I would never get into a position where I'll be broke ever again. And so I began to make decisions, and I begin to educate myself, and I begin to get training in order for me to be able to make money, to make sure I can support myself again until I can get myself restarted. And when I made the decision to restart, I had to restart from scratch. So I'm telling you, you know, that was my personal experience, and that's what brought me here to talk to you guys, because there are some of you that needed to hear that. Some of you need to know that there is light at the end of the tunnel. You will smile again. you will smile again, but you have to make a determination. It's the hardest decision that you will ever have to make emotionally, because you were addicted to a person. You didn't know what was happening to you. And this is crazy. How can you have been in a relationship with someone so long and they have no connection with you? How can you have had children? And some of you have a lot of children, some of you have one child, but how can I have had children with this individual and I thought they care? How can you really have no emotion or connection to your family? How can you just walk away? How can you walk away in the arms of another man? How can you walk away in the arms of another woman and leave your family behind as if we never existed? That's what some of you guys have emailed me. How can you just walk away as if we never existed, as if we never had a relationship? Because they have narcissistic personality disorder. They don't think the way that you think. They do not think the way that you think. You think from an empathetic, experiential place where you have compassion for people. How can you hurt people like that? And that's what makes you human. That's what makes you be able to help other people. You just have to get beyond where you are at. And if you have to go get a goal board, a vision board, a dream board, and you put down what you want, what are you skilled at? And I'll just use me, jewelry, makeup, fashion, facial products, hair products, counseling, mentor, coaching, same thing I did in the military, coaching, what else? Speaking, book writing. So you have all these goals and you have to look to see which one is the one that I'm able to master first, because when you master that one thing, everything else is going to grow from that. I mastered the one thing because I needed income in my home. But by nature, I'm a counselor and encourager. That's what I do. I've done that ever since I was young, and I did it in the military. I encourage, I train, I raised up leaders. I encourage people. I show them their strengths. I did that before I became a licensed counselor. That was the one skill I knew I had. I had the capacity to speak, and I'm a speaker. And so I took that and I created a business out of that. From there, I did this, then I did this, then I did this. But I had to master and get one thing running, because guess what? You are survival mode. You had to bring in income. You had to create. I am creating a legacy for my children. I am creating a legacy for my grandchildren. I'm showing them as a woman. Now, I'm speaking as a woman, but men, you kings as well, some of your sons need to see this. But that you can recover, and you need to have your children be able to look back and say, I know that she's been through a lot. I know he's been through a lot, but I really respect the fact that they were able to get back on their feet and look what they've done. Look what they did. They bounced back. That's giving them hope. That's giving you guys hope. So hopefully this has helped you guys. What if I'm still in the relationship with them? What is the hope? What kind of hope do I have? And I'll figure out the title before I post this. So by the time you hear this right here, I've got a title. So hopefully this has helped someone. Hopefully you are encouraged. You have it in you. That's why they sought you, because you had it in you, and you still have it in you. It's probably dormant and you don't see it at this particular time, but they saw it. That's the sad part, that an enemy like that would see it in you, but you didn't see it. And it's almost like they muted it where you never see it, because you went by what the narcissist said to you. The narcissist told you were dumb, you're incapable of doing this, you're ugly, you're this. Now this is coming from a toad, but they're telling you everything that you should and could and should have been. But how are they giving you advice when nothing that they're saying follows them in their life? They're telling you how to do your money and how to manage your money, and none of it works in their life. Now, I'm not speaking of, you do have narcissists that are good with money. You do have narcissists that are good with business. So each narcissist is different. Remember, different socioeconomic statuses, different educational levels. You have those that are on the severe end of poverty, and some that are, on the other end of wealth. You have those that are not as educated and may have like some cognitive or intellectual delays. And then you have those that do not. They're very intelligent, very educated. So each one of you got to remember that each narcissist, though we speak and we talk about it and the behavior is almost exactly alike, they're still individuals with different life experiences. And so hopefully this has helped you guys. Hopefully you can take this and begin making some dream and vision boards, create some goals, come up with a plan, go look for resources so that you can figure out how to get out of the situation without making mistakes. Remember, you got the gray rock. Gray rock means that you show no emotion. Gray rock, your emotions. A rock is gray. It has no emotions. It has no expression. So you have to learn, and it takes time and it takes practice, not to show your emotion. I don't care how angry you are. I don't care how hard your heart is, how bad your heart is hurting. I don't care if you want to cry and pull off your eyelashes and throw it at them, throw a shoe and you're angry. Don't show any emotions. They don't care. That's their fuel. That's what they need from you. So you learn to respond without having emotions when you respond. Yes, okay, thank you, no problem, until it becomes a reality. So you have to practice, you have to practice it until it becomes your reality. For some of you, you're going to be practicing, but it hasn't hit yet. It hasn't registered yet. So it's not real to you yet. So you have to keep practicing. But I don't understand, Dr. B. This is, it just doesn't feel, it's not going to feel. Until it actually registers, one day you're going to be like, I really didn't have any emotions. I didn't have a reaction. This feels good. I'm telling you, you're going to get there. Trust me. Keep watching the videos. Keep talking to me. I listen. I look at some of the things that you guys say, and based off of some of the things you say and some of the things that you request, I make the videos off of that. So today I just wanted to stop, and I wanted to encourage you guys. It is possible. It's not impossible. It is possible. Where there's a dream, where there's a thought, everything starts from a thought. You have a thought, you have a vision, and then it becomes a plan. This iPhone, I record off of an iPhone. It was a thought. Who would ever think you'd walk around with a phone in your hand and you could talk? When we used to have the phone with the phone cords? Y'all remember. I'm not the only one. You had that long cord that went from the kitchen all the way to your room, and you had your feet up on the wall. Hey, you sleepy? No, I'm not sleepy. You tired? I'm going to get off the phone. But I don't want to get off the phone. You want to get off the phone? I get off the phone. You get off the phone. Remember that? Y'all remember. Quit playing. Y'all remember. Y'all ain't that old. I'm not that old. But, no, you guys are old. But remember the phone with the cord. You couldn't imagine ever having a cell phone. You walk around with they had satellite phones at one point in time. Then you walked around, remember you had that big battery? Remember that big battery phone looked like a big car battery that you carried on your shoulder, and you picked it up, looked like one of those field phones from the Army. You had to pick a little, remember the rotary? Remember the rotary? I used to like the rotary. We need to bring the rotary back. I like the rotary phone. Now you can't text nobody with a rotary phone, but I like the rotary phone. But no one would ever imagine that we would have iPhones and that we would be recording, that we're looking at well, I can't look at you, that we can actually FaceTime and see each other. And so it was a dream, it was a vision, it was a thought. If you can have a dream, if you can have a vision, you can create goals to make it happen. Nothing is too big. You are not destroyed. They did not snuff out your dream. If you can think it, you can make it happen. You have to connect to the right people. You can make that vision happen. You can make those goals happen. You got to create goals. Stop underestimating yourself. They knew how powerful you were. You didn't know how powerful you were. So stop underestimating yourself. So hopefully this has helped you guys. Thank you for all the new subscribers. If you have not subscribed already, please do so. I am Dr. Carmen Bryant, and my channel name is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. I also have, and make sure you hit the bell so you know whenever I upload. I pre-record Tuesday through Friday. I upload the same day. And then on Sundays, I come on live between 8 and 9 o'clock Pacific Standard Time, which is West Coast time in the U.S. Thank you to all my family out there. Malaysia, I think we have Canada, we have Australia, New Zealand, Ireland, Germany, Deutschland. We have, where else we have? We have Brazil, Japan, Mexico. Where else? I don't know if it was, Philippines. Thank you guys. So Italy, I think we have Italy. Where else did we have? Africa, South Africa. Thank you guys so much. I am so truly honored. Please share these videos. Somebody needs to hear it. And if you have not bought my book already, go look underneath the video in YouTube, underneath the tab, and you will see the connection to the Amazon and Barnes & Noble. It is Unmasking the Illusion of Perfection. Thank you guys so much for purchasing the book and purchasing a book for your teenagers to read. You're giving them some awareness so they are aware. So when they start seeing these behaviors, they're not just throwing out the term narcissist. They know what they're talking about and what it looks like. But see, it's different when you take narcissism and in this book, it plays it out. It lets you see what it looks like. So for the teenagers or young people, they're seeing this play out. I guarantee guarantee you, they probably ran into some narcissists in school and they're like, oh my gosh, this is what they were doing. This is the stuff that they were saying, because they have the same MO. They're hidden in plain sight, you know. And I also have a Facebook page. I have two. One is my professional Facebook page, Psychological Health Consultants and Services. And the other one has my book cover on it, is Overcoming Narcissist Abuse. So please subscribe to or hit the like button on. I post to all three of them, but I come live on the Psychological Health and the YouTube one. Now, when I travel, I can only come on one. And so I can usually come on YouTube. So if you're on YouTube, I usually come live on YouTube when I travel. But then usually when I'm stationary, then I come on both the Psychological Health and I come on YouTube. So thank you guys once again. Make sure you hit the like button, and thank you guys so much for your support. Those of you that have been asking how you can donate, I am so honored, and I am going to use that to continue to build our community. Classes, I'm working on cloud, looking for a platform now to do classes, paid classes. And I'm working on workbook, and I'm working on another book affiliated with the workbook and the classes that I will be creating that'll help you. I know not everyone can afford, coaching. Not all of you are in the state of Washington to receive counseling here at my company, here at my facility. And so the only other thing that I can do for you in that case for a nominal fee is to create classes with a workbook so you can work. You know, you'll be able to work. It's just like working with me. Well, you will be working with me because I'll do some videos too. But I thank you guys so much for the support. You guys are well loved and you are well respected and honored here on this YouTube channel. So you guys go and be great.